What's up, people? I'm Metalmouth, and you're listening to Horrific Murder Stories. Hey, even though these versions of the stories are heavily censored for the internet, they can still be very graphic and quite disturbing. So please listen at your own discretion.
911.
Yes, I need a police and ambulance out to... My husband's been shot.
Who shot him, ma'am?
I did.
Were y'all arguing or something, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me transfer you to the ambulance service, okay? Is he breathing?
I don't know.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Hold on. I'm transferring you to the ambulance service. Do you still have a gun, ma'am?
No.
Ambulance service.
911 transfer.
Yes. I need an ambulance and a police out.
And what's going on?
My husband's been shot.
Okay. And where is he shot at? Do you know?
In the leg, I think.
Okay. Is the person that shot him still there?
Yes.
Okay. What's your telephone number? All right, Mecca.
I got him on the way.
All right, let us know when it seems secure.
All right.
Thank you.
The 911 call you just heard was placed by 69-year-old Patricia Hill after she shot and killed her 65-year-old husband, Frank Hill, for watching porn. That crime happened July 28, 2018 in Whitehall, Arkansas. At that time, Frank and Patricia had been married probably for about 15 years, and Patricia knew Frank's obsession with pornography long before they were married. This was Patricia's second marriage. She worked as a nurse, probably held that title for about 50 years. Patricia was a devout Christian, God-fearing woman. In addition to working as a nurse, she was also a Sunday school teacher. And she had grandkids that would frequent her place. So she definitely did not need no chicken choking Charlie in her life, and she made this perfectly clear to Frank. Frank assured Patricia that he could give up that porn addiction, but that addiction was probably just a little bit stronger than Frank realized. So they get married, and not long afterwards, she catches him with the porn again. And this goes on throughout the entire marriage. Frank's got porn. He's got it stashed everywhere throughout the house. Magazines, videotapes, whatever. One day she discovers a charge on her cable bill for some pornographic movies that Frank had purchased. She confronted him about this, and he didn't really have much to say. He's like, yeah, whatever. I won't do that again. But by this time, Patricia is just fed up. She's not having it anymore, and she's serious. She files the divorce papers. Most guys that are married, I guess, have a place in their house that they can retreat to. You know, like maybe a room they call the man cave, or they might spend a lot of time in the garage or the basement. Frank had a shed, literally a shed, a dilapidated little rundown wooden shed out behind the house, where he spent his time chain-smoking cigarettes, guzzling cheap beer, and spanking it to porn. Oh, this place was a filth pit, too. Ashtrays overflowing, garbage cans filled to the top with aluminum beer cans, Frank's DNA covering everything. You gotta kind of imagine the smell in there. I'm sure it smelled like stale beer, old cigarettes, and wet puppies. Patricia receives another cable bill with yet another $30 charge for pornography, and she's furious. She makes a beeline straight for the stroke shed to confront Frank. When she opens the door, Frank's got the pornography playing. He's in his chair with his pants around his ankles, a cold one in his left hand, in the right hand, and he's going to town. She's upset. She's furious. She blows up on him. She shows him the bill. She tells him, get the hell out. She wants him out of the house. Gotta leave. Frank's not going anywhere, he says. He's staying right there. Patricia goes back into the house, gets her gun, comes out, fires 2 shots, goes back into the house, and makes the 911 call that you just heard. Frank is taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. He was shot once in the knee, and 1 bullet hit him in the head. Patricia claims that she never intended to shoot Frank. She says she fired 2 shots at the floor because she wanted him gone. She was fed up with him, she wanted him to leave, and she wanted him to know that she meant business. She was charged with first-degree murder. So apparently they do not f*** around in Arkansas when it comes to criminal matters. The prosecuting attorney is seeking life in prison without the possibility of parole for Patricia Hill. So let's recap here, huh? This 69-year-old woman who's never been arrested, never had any problems with the law. She's worked her whole life as a nurse. She's a devout Christian, a Sunday school teacher. Her and Frank been married for about 15 years. They never really had any problems, nothing physical between them before. The only problems Patricia really had with Frank was his lifestyle, but she knew what he was all about before she married him. Of course, Frank did say that he would give that up, but he knew that he wasn't going to give that up too. So maybe they should have just realized that they weren't really compatible, and they probably should have never got married in the first place. So now, during the trial, and remember, the prosecuting attorney, they're seeking life without the possibility of parole. First-degree murder, life without the possibility of parole is what they want. Patricia's defense attorney opted to have her take the stand. And they're also bringing in court psychologists. They're claiming that Patricia had a disassociative moment, and no matter how brief that moment may have been, in that amount of time, she just lost it. She just wasn't there, and that's when that shooting happened. And although she didn't intend to actually shoot Frank, she accidentally did, and that's what caused Frank to lose his life. So during the trial, some technicality arose. I'm not sure exactly what happened. It has something to do with the defense attorney and the prosecuting attorney not getting some type of evidence from a psychologist, so the jury did not receive a key point of evidence in the trial. And this resulted in Patricia's defense attorney calling for a mistrial. They want a complete mistrial, and they want it all thrown out of court. So eventually what happened was the prosecuting attorney and the defense attorney agreed that they would retry her on a charge of second-degree murder. So that's what happened. Patricia was tried again for second-degree murder, and she was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to 16 years in prison. So by now it's 2019, and Patricia is 70 years old, and she's just been sentenced to 16 years in prison. You might think that's a life sentence, but not for Patricia. She came up for parole, and she was granted parole in 2022. So she shot a guy in the head, killed him, and did 3 years in prison for it. Although, she claims it was an accident. Not quite sure how I feel about that, but what about you? Tell me how you feel. Hey, you ever wonder what I'm really saying and who I'm saying it about? Unfortunately, because of all the different platforms that I broadcast on and all their different community standards and guidelines and blah, 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 I am forced to heavily censor these versions of horrific murder stories. But if you're a true sick if you want to hear all the gory crime details, all the brutal, explicit talk, maybe even a motherfucker or two getting doxxed, you can access all my uncensored and exclusive content on my Patreon page, patreon.com/horrific murder stories. Do you ever just want to listen to the metal without the horrific murder stories? No talk, no bullshit, just metal. Log on to metalmouthradio.com, a constant stream of pure, crushing metal radio. Less talk, more metal. metalmouthradio.com, because corporate radio sucks.